All right, how's it going? We're gonna do some 16 minutes. Let me show you what I got so far. So that's the hair. That's the hair. Now what I want to do is I'm going to work on this a little bit. I'm going to add some color to this. Because why the fuck not? We can add color. And it'll kind of blend in better. Now, I think I erred in not getting some other colors here. But we can do that right now. Because I got the power, I got the means, right? Let's see what I got. Run really quick. You can barely hear me. Because you couldn't hear me from all the way over there, right? Because I had to get over here really quick. Now, these are the colors I'm going to use. And this adds a little bit of hair design. It's funny that that girl has like a dog. Her dead dog is now a computer. And she goes on her tours for. I mean, all you do, right? It's kind of like, it's the sequel to Death Stranding in its own perverse way. And I don't really put a lot of touches to that. We're doing about 16 minutes here. So not a whole lot of time to waste. Not that I want to waste all that time. Okay. What I'm going to hope to do here is kind of add a little bit of color to blend into the black. And then that way, be mindful of the shapes that I have in front of me. I mean, you're going to see more progress when I go off screen, obviously. Because why can't you see that progress off screen? This is, you know, something I'm trying, every time I'm trying new media, I'm trying new things, right? Because I feel like I can do that. Experiment here. Okay. This is, so what I want to do here is we don't press too hard with this. So funny thing about dark blue is that it's not going to show up very well on black paper. So I have to put a little bit of white to get it to show up. Or maybe a light blue. It doesn't ultimately matter because we just want to make sure this shows up. And let's see. So it has some sort of a mystical feel to it when you see that hair. Now what I want to do is I want to have those visors look off to the right. So as I say, we take the plunge. But because I believe her visors are not going to be over her eyes completely, she's going to lift them up. So what it is that you can see her eyes, her visor's up here and her eyes are down here looking this way. And you got all these other people. And so what I'll be doing after I do 32 minutes of this, which is going to be tomorrow night, I will show you progress after 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, 16 hours of time, however I do this. We'll see how that goes, but it should take a long while, but not too long, right? Because we want to make sure that, so I haven't finished her hair yet, but we want to get to the visors. Now, how will I do that? I think the best way, and I may need to put this down to apply. So this is Bic Whiteout. I've had a bad history with whiteout, bad grades in school and all that. I hated I've had some problems with my family past. It's hard. Whenever I talk about my family, I go off tangent. I was gonna make a community post, but I just don't think I could do it. You know, it's hard when I have to deal with people that. Okay, so you see what I did there? And you can barely see that mark. But whenever you have whiteout, and you want to be careful, you don't make a mark that's too defined. So you kind of give it a little bit of time to dry a bit. It shouldn't take too long. And what I'm trying to do here is give it some definition. Now I've got different kinds of greens. In here are 100 colors. So let me see what I've got here. I've got some lighter ones than this. When all else fails, you just throw everything at it, right? Let's see what else I got. So if you were to take these color palettes here, you would have light to dark, I guess. Let me see what this one is. Maybe this one's better, right? So you have to compare colors. For those who are colorblind, yeah, that's not a time to be colorblind, because then you can't tell those shades. So hard to say, because these colors here could be tied for like darker than this. And then this one would be darker. So what I'm doing right now is just looking at the colors. I know that's going to run into the time, but I have to make sure this is dry. Okay. When all else fails, and you try to apply the right colors here. So try to get the right things. But there's a good chance that the color is not going to even show up on whiteout. The idea is that we want it to be like sort of a darker, or what is it? It's like a kind of a toothpaste green visor, okay? When you see it, just reminds you of green. But we want to make sure that green is showing up in this, and that it doesn't just dry to white, which is what is the likely outcome in any case, in any event. So it should look a little bit green. Now it's going to look light, but that's okay, because what I ultimately want to do, I mean, it's not easy. When you draw pencils on white paper, or marker on white paper, you don't think about it. You just don't even think about it, right? Now let me think about what I got to do here, because I have this after image of the visor on there. Now I want to keep it okay. A little bit of touch there. So now what I've done is I've added yellow to Fleeta's visor. Now remember, the purpose of the visor is to keep her eyes from falling out of her sockets or going into her. Well, actually, if you were running really fast, I think your eyes you would gouge your own eyes out, because the force of the air. You know, like when I do the indoor skydiving this either this week or next week, um, you're gonna have to wear goggles, and that's gonna protect your eyes from getting damaged. So Fleta would have to run as though she was skydiving. So that's the idea. So what I'm going to do right now, it's pretty simple. I'm going to just add the same colors I did with the white. I want to check for dryness. This may not work. That's what it's there for. So it's kind of like there's no real pattern to this, that I'm just trying to get the colors to actually stick on here. And you can see kind of some of that. We go through these. Whatever works. Whatever sticks. Whatever it takes. Let's see. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, let me take a look at that white section though, because I think the let me try using the darkest green for this and see if I can get us. Because I don't want it to be super dark, but I just want the green to start showing up. Because all that really matters is that it's... Okay. Let's see what I'm going to do here. Because I think what I'd like to do, we're going to erase this mark here. So you see that there's visor residue, but we can't have that because we need to make sure that, and I'm going to try to apply. Now this is, what color is this? Do we know? Pale sage. So you won't be able to read that at all, but it's pale sage. This is this one right here. So we're going to try to apply that right now. And this is kind of, it's nicer to have a, and then here, then this one here is a light green. It's simply what it is, a light green. This is a prang. Prang, you know, they do the watercolors and shit. So we got a few minutes left. So what I want to make sure I'm doing is having those visors go up. And I may want to add and then maybe I'm just coming up with these ideas on the spot here. Now you can barely see that, but that's a divider in the visors because it should be. Now keep in mind, it's got to look this way. We got when he no longer could. I want to add more to the hair, but right now we're not going to worry about that. It's really like you got to come up with all this stuff right on the spot. Otherwise, no. Okay, and the last, there's two more greens actually. So this is a regular green that I have. These are the staples, official staples. I don't really care for these things because these things will break after a year or two. And then the plastic comes off of this damn thing, which is not a fun time. I think that that Wrath of the Lich King game can work better if I can understand the World of Warcraft game more and see what. Like, I'm tempted to like add chess pieces on those spaces so they could fight off the ghouls, so that you can withhold the despair track. Because it's a board game, you can mod it. Sure, why can't you? Okay. I'm trying to think of where her eyes would be. So her eyes would be a little bit below that. So it's going to look a little lopsided. It's not. This was not intentional, but that might work. It might still work, might not. Ultimately, what I'm going to end up doing is just, and I think I'm going to have to add the pink. I'm going to add pink paper to this so that we can get her her skin color right. So she's pink. So she's from another planet where copper is blood. So what would a human look like if they were copper-based and not iron-based? There was a guy who passed away, and he had Argyria. He had blue skin. So it's something like blue skin in which your blood looks blue. So it wouldn't be like Spock. Like Spock is supposed to be green-blooded, I guess. But I don't know. I don't think that's copper. It might be something else. It's all about this weird science. Actually, I'm actually done. So that's what I have so far in 16 minutes. So that's Flyta Scaterra, Flyta Scaterra. I named her after the STC Tuatera, which is the fastest car ever. So I'll do 16 minutes off, and then we'll do one more Let's Draw for 32.